Assalamualaikum doktor.
Waalaikumsalam.
Kami saya dapat scan. Ya Madah, you are not allowed to confirm attendance using the same device more than once.
Okay. Yep. Fatma Dewi. Oh. Lalu
Good morning, Doctor. Suara Dr. Sid clear.
Yep. So today we continue soil pollution in ocean. So for preparing this slide, I use two books. You can download it from Ellipse. The first book is by Ibrahim Sal, Soil Pollution, Energy Monitoring and Remediation. The second book is PC Morgan, Soil Erosion and Conservation. The page. So start. We refer to books by Ibrahim Sal, Soil Pollution, Energy Monitoring, the origin of soil. Soil pollution and erosion. Although in the plan, this topic is actually focusing on soil erosion. Dr. Ibrahim, the first chemical before me, I need to learn about soil pollution as well. So I start with soil pollution, then we go to soil erosion. Soil erosion is type of soil pollution. Numerous stage 3, the one. The origin of soil. There are two types of weathering. Three types of weathering: chemical, physical, and biological weathering. This chapter is just to inform you how the soil forms. The chemical weathering is the fundamental natural process underlying the group of processes complexity is albedogenesis or soil forming process. So it's depend principally on the chemical factor. Then proceed to physical weathering. It's the integration of solid into the integration of the solid phase and eventually to more favorable energetic condition for subsequent chemical operation. So for physical and biological or mechanical weathering, in general physical weathering is in water, temperature changes, living organism which change its upper surface into protected and partially independent water. So the most prominent agent for physical weathering is differential stress caused by unloading of subject rock or energy to the surface. Expansion of interstitial weathering by freezing, rupturing along crystal boundaries in thermal expansion under extreme kinetic conditions. So all of the physical weathering will in turn change the soil. So for chemical weathering, pedogenesis consists of the following categories of process: oxidation, hydration, and electrolysis. Two, two categories. So the effect of chemical weathering is the most decisive in the geologic cycle, whereby dramatic changes may completely obliterate the parent rock and vast geomorphologic changes. The pedogenic cycle, figure 1.2, page 7, and the pedogenic cycle, 1.2.1. The fundamental definition of soil is that it is a relatively thin upper layer of the unconsolidated mantle of this integrated and decomposed rock material which overlies the consolidated bedrock. So later I will show you the layer in soil. So generally the unconsolidated material, the soil is zone from above downward, forming the so-called soil zone. This leads to the conclusion that pedogenic cycle are minor cycle within the main sedimentary cycle modifying the rest. This is the pedogenic process within the main sedimentary cycle. So rock, then there are mechanical weathering, physical weathering, chemical weathering, and biological weathering. So once it's disintegrated, the rock, it will be transported by water and wind. So loss of soil and parent material by erosion. This one will cover the end of the slide, including the soil erosion modeling. Factors controlling soil formation. Before I forgot, the petrogenesis consists of the following categories of process, oxidation, and hydration. So for high oxidation, so still here with the genesis process. In the aerated zone, where most process leading to soil formation take place, the availability of oxygen, water, and dissolved gases led to the dominance of oxidation reaction. So this petrogenesis is the one that I told you about the chemical weathering. Then, so for oxidation, the color of the soil is the yellow, brown, and red because of the presence of metal. Um, what else? Sulfur. Then for hydration is special for hydration and hydrolysis. Hydration and hydrolysis are the most important process encountered during soil formation by weathering. While in hydrolysis, a proper chemical reaction between water, thus the name hydrolysis. Reaction between water and mineral substance take place to produce or consume a proton electron. Water in hydration form an envelope around the separate ion to form hydrate. So the result of hydration and hydrolysis is clay. So this turns into clay. So one of it is the conversion of anhydride CaSO4 into gypsum CaSO4, but with 2H2O, meaning it's a crystal. So from hydration and hydrolysis, we can also the soil will form into silica. So how the soil form. Just controlling soil formation. The same. There are three factors: climate, weathering in general, and soil formation process in particular are dependent largely on climatic factors. This not only control the main process and direction in the main cycle, but also affect organic addition and the rate of mineral transformation into distal lattice breakdown. In 1989, researcher Ross found that in such transformation, this is about climate, the rate of chemical reaction double for every 10 degrees C rise in temperature, and that the maximum rate of organic matter decay takes place in the temperature range from 25 to 25 degrees C. This may also follow from the observation that on a global rate, the rate of mineral transformation organic matter decay increases from high to low, which is correct. So meaning for every temperature rise, the rate of chemical reaction forming the soil. The second factor is biota. Actually, the role of organism cannot be dismissed apart from the climatic control effect, since these are generally related to biographical, geographical conditions. Aside from the mechanical work done by rodents and growing animals, the chemical reaction triggered off by bacteria and plant roots play, as mentioned before, a crucial role in process of soil formation. This is talking about organic matter decay. The last factor is parent material. Since the principal source of soil is the pre-existing rock or parent material, the main control on soil formation will be directly related to the susceptibility of this material to weathering processes. So for parent material, so soil formed on parent material highly resistant to weathering will normally have relatively less thickness. Than those formed on easily weathered landscape, they also contain more regolith stony material than the later. So parent material is actually the rock. The figure 1.2 is figure. The phylogenetic process start with the parent material or existing rock. It disintegrate and then transport by water and wind. Then it form the soil or sand. So the morphology of soil. Example 1.6, page 4, hypothetical soil profile. Here, parent material become the support or base for all for the soil. So many layers of the soil layers, normally referred to as a horizon or horizon A1 horizon. The material is R horizon. May range from a few centimeters to a meter or more in thickness. They are classified according to their position in profile, which is also closely related to their mineralogy, constitution, and brings us into few basic types. So all horizon, the upper part, especially decomposed organic debris, then you have a dark colored humus rich material. Light color material with maximum elevation, this one is A3 horizon, light color may not be present. Then B horizon, a compact brown to orange ground material having high content of clay, which is true. Iron and organic material. In the best developed soil, which render ideal profile, three main horizon follow. They form a transition between the O horizon and the base of the profile made of the parent material, which is given the name R horizon. This may be rock in situ, transported alluvial, glacial, or wind-blown, overburden, or even soil of hydrological. As you can see, there are A, B, and C. A, B, and C. The three middle horizon, except for O and R, identified by the letter A, B, C, are composed of sand, silt, and clay, and other weighted byproduct. Refer to table B1, table 1.1. They represent two main subsequent stages of soil formation, whereby the lowest one C horizon represents the stage nearest to the parent material. It is made up of partially or poorly weighted bedrock having minimum content of organic matter and clay. The A and B horizon is two are viewed together as representing the real soil emerging from the complete weathering of the sea. They are collectively known as solemn. So these are the horizon where maximum geological activities and elevation take place. Accumulation of soil by deposition or precipitation, elevation is maximum. So parent material turn to regolith, then turn to the A, B, C. Soil degradation and soil quality. This is the page 95, chapter 5 in Ibrahim's book. So the soil degradation and soil quality. Soil degradation is defined as the decline soil quality caused through its misuse by human activity. So degradation or decline of soil quality may occur due to physical or chemical processes triggered off by natural phenomena or induced by human through misuse of land resources. Processes such as soil erosion, this is the factors contribute to soil degradation. Soil erosion, nutrient runoff, waterlogging, desertification or compaction. So compaction here refer to when you use heavy machinery on a land, it will compact. May give example of a physical degradation process, one acidification, organic matter, salinization, nutrient depletion by leaching, toxicant acquisition, are all processes that can be classified as chemical degradation of soil. So indicator for soil quality. So once it's degraded, we need to know the indicator of what is the quality of the soil. There are many. So there are medical indicator assessed by interpreting the figure indicating the velocity of mechanism population, or through measuring some of the basic biological activities such as respiration or intensity of biochemical reaction. This one is there may also be physical indicator measured by investigating some of the fundamental physical characteristic of soil, such as bulk density, water infiltration, and fuel water holding capacity. The water infiltration is important, meaning the water can pass through the soil. Because if it's saturated, the water cannot be absorbed into the soil. It will become a run of water, which lead to soil erosion. Another one is chemical indicator of soil are normally assessed through pH value or the concentration of certain ions such as nitrate. Other than that, you can actually just use visual indicator to determine the soil quality. Obtained from observation of photographic interpretation, as for example, exposure of subsoil, change in soil color, ephemeral gases, or blowing. So physical soil degradation. For the soil, so for the soil quality indicator, you can refer to this Ibrahim books, the referral book, page 96 until 99, 98. But the thing that I have told you, it's actually the what is categorized as biological, physical indicator. But to know more, such as physical indicator here, is a soil bulk density. So what is a soil bulk density? In this book, it's defined as the mass of soil per unit volume in its natural state, including airspace, mineral matters, plus organic substance. High value of bulk density may restrict the movement of surface water through the soil, leading to a loss of nutrient by leaching. It may also increase erosion rate. Yeah, I mean, the physical soil degradation, soil erosion. Page 100. Soil erosion occurs when the rate of soil removal by water or wind, see here water and wind, This is two medium to transport soil. Water will exceed the rate of soil formation. So soil formation is generally a very slow process with rate ranging from 1 cm over 100 to 400 years. This make about 0.1 to 1.3 ton per hectare in areas with intensive land use or deforestation. Erosion may be enhanced by human activity. So if the rate of soil removed by water and wind exceed the rate of soil motion, then it is defined as soil erosion. So but soil erosion is actually a natural process. Although the anthropogenic activities or human activities contribute more than the natural occurrence. Detachment of soil material may occur because of running water or wind, whereby in both cases the severity of erosion will depend upon the capacity of the eroding agent to transport. The following factors generally determine the intensity of erosion. There are two. There are four factors that determine the intensity of the erosion. The first one is soil erodibility. This is a measure of soil resistance to detachment in transport. So it's depend particularly on soil structure, organic content, structure, and permeability. So in general, soil with low content of clay and organic matter are more readily eroded than soil with a higher content of the same. So the same may refer to clay and organic matter. The rule shown in figure 5.3 holds for most soil types. The figure. So fine grain, low organic matter, low clay content, high erodibility. Medium grain, low cohesion, and coarse grain structure, fine grain. This one is harder to erode. So this relation, figure 5.3, support the idea that clay content may provide a measure for soil erodibility since cloth formed by clay mineral together with organic matter stabilize the soil and make it more resistant to erosion. So resistance of soil to erosion will depend more on the moisture content of the soil. So you need to remember there are two types of medium to transport soil. It's either water or wind. So wet soil being less erodible than dry soil, of course, yet all other factors remain as in the case of water erosion. The second factor is erosivity. So this is a measure of the potential of the eroding agent to erode, and is commonly expressed in kinetic energy. With regard to rainfall, this will be related to the intensity of the rainfall as well as to the size of raindrop. So intensity of rainfall, the size of raindrop, the one we will cover soil erosion later on. There are impact on the why we need vegetation to minimize the soil erosion. The most widely used index is known as the EI30. This is a compound index of kinetic energy and maximum 30-minute rainfall intensity. EI. Wind erosivity index are based largely on the velocity and duration of the wind. So for water, you may use EI30, but for wind, it's based on the velocity and duration of the wind. But erosion induced by human activity depend on various factors. You know, that 1 week later, there are methods to model the soil erosion and how to count the human activity. Third, vegetation cover. So plant cover on soil may function as a buffer between the soil surface and the rest of the environment, including all natural forces such as wind, rain, and running water. So vegetation cover means the plant that the plant on the land. So it dissipates the energy of raindrop, meaning the raindrop will drop on the leaf and the branches. So reduce the energy of raindrop or runoff, allowing water to enter the soil. So allowing water to enter the soil is actually a water infiltration. It's good to have a high infiltration rate so that there is no runoff water. This was experimentally demonstrated by Hudson and Gibson, and recently by Zanzi. So what they do in both cases, soil loss by erosion on the plot cover with fine wired course was compared with the recorded on an identical neighboring bare plot. So two plot here means soil. One with fine wired course, top of it, the another one is just a bare plot. In the former experience, which was carried out in plain loam soil, the type of soil, the mean annual soil loss over 10 years period was 126.6 tons per hectare. For the bare plot and for plot with wire gas, the soil loss is only 0.9 tons per hectare for the covered one. So based on the study, it's a proof that if you have a vegetation cover, the soil loss or soil erosion will be less. Last factor is topography. This is about slope steepness or the length of the slope. Increase in slope steepness and slope length are factors that make soil more susceptible to erosion due to the respective increase in velocity or runoff volume. So meaning the water cannot infiltrate, don't have enough time to infiltrate the soil, it will run off and erode the slope, which is why we need the vegetation cover. The relation between erosion and slope can be mathematically expressed in the following equation. So E is soil loss per unit area directly proportional to tangent N times theta is the slope angle, and L is the slope length. So there's a M and N there. Okay. There's no M and N. Actually, the original equation is tangent to the power of M, theta L to the power of N. So zinc, researcher zinc, we found out that the index for M and N is 1.4 and 0.6 based on the experimentation. This is just a introduction for the soil erosion. We will go further about the soil erosion and modeling of soil erosion. How about measuring the soil erosion? So to measure the soil erosion, how many methods? 3 methods. I didn't put it in the slide. You can refer in page 101 or 103. The first method is point measurement to determine the level change in a single dimension. So meaning you put some rod and see how much it's reduce or increase. Profile and cross-section measurement in 2 dimensions and volumetric measurement in 3 dimensions. So the rod is called a erosion pin. In this method, a pin is driven into the soil. Let's talk to soil erosion. So many models have been proposed to quantify the extent of soil erosion. So one of it is the universal soil loss equation USLE. This is the most famous one. E equal to R times K times L times S times C times P. Later, will show you the value for each. Later here. So what is E? What are the factors considered? E stands for mean annual soil loss. R stands for rainfall erosivity index. Some of it we need to use chart to determine some of the equation. Table. K stands for soil erodibility index. L stands for soil slope length. S stands for slope steepness. C is a cropping factor, ratio of soil loss under a given so, and P stands for conservation practice factor. One is the first equation. Second equation is the soil loss estimated for Southern Africa, SLEMSA. So this model was originally developed in a way to evaluate the erosion resulting from different farming systems in order to develop adequate conservation measures. Mathematically, the following equation express the essential factors. the model. This model, okay, so the equation is equal to kxt. So for the first model, the USL is what are the disadvantages? So, because it's ignoring the human factors, social economic condition. So this equation cannot be used without integration to special hydrologic or morphological condition. But SLOPSA is it stand for the mean annual soil loss. A is mean annual loss. The standard field plot is the long 10-meter wide slope of 2.5 degree. The soil of non-erodibility of value F with the bear follow. So the dimensionless factor means slope going to strictness and suits the dimensions. Still, there's no human factor, so the equation. The last is wind erosion prediction equation for the mean annual wind erosion vector is considered a function of hardware frequency. So W equal to ICKN. I is the solar energy. C is 1 P surface roughness and vegetation. Post still in. So all of this is actually what physical solidity. So other than that, I mean, a few such as soil compaction lead to physical soil regulation. Then soil fasting and healing. So soil compaction. Compaction is the mass reduction of soil. Is generally expressed in dry part density, porosity, and resistance to vegetation. A compacted soil are normally of a higher bulk density than comparable non-compacted ones. But what causes soil compaction? Soil compaction occurs as a result of various human-induced factors such as increase of machinery use in farming, increase in weight of field equipment, steel machinery. Other than machinery is minimal crop rotation and raindrop impact. So how does a minimal crop rotation affect soil compaction? So crop rotation, if practiced frequently, have break subsoil compaction due to variation in rooting system of a different crop and make it essential to carry out frequent seeding operation, which may reduce the probability of compaction. So crop rotation means the farmers within the same plot of land, they plant uh, different vegetation. The other factors is raindrop impact. Actually, raindrop impact, this is the major natural cause of soil compaction. So this is naturally occurs soil compaction. It adds the formation of crust on the soil surface FCMT. So such crust may prevent germination, cause the same harm mentioned. So how do you, what is the other effect of soil crusting and sealing? So crusting is the name given to the development of thin crust formation on the soil surface, whereby wet crusts are collectively known as seal. This is the reason why crust and seal are sometimes treated as being one and the same object. Crusts are sometimes known as capping and are generally formed on exposed soil in brittle and semi-brittle environment. Acceptance soil degradation. The chemical soil degradation. Two main factors: acidification and salinization and solidification. So acidification has an anthropogenic dimension as well as natural one, arising from the background factors. Natural processes that lead to acidification range from long-term base leaching and microbial respiration to nitrification and plant. So base leaching attain maximum in region where precipitation exceed evapotranspiration. So which is also enhanced by higher concentration of CO2 and rainwater and by decomposition materials such as humic and fulvic acid in the soil. So humic and fulvic acid is the main component of water from pit swamp. Water is slightly brown or transparent brown or red. What? So plant growth contribute to soil acidity because plant nutrition depend upon the exchange of nutrient basket ion for H+. Thus increase the soil acidity. Nitrifying bacteria also help in lowering the pH of the soil by oxidation of ammonium according to the to the equation. So acidification beside base leaching, actually plant growth can also contribute to acidification and as well as nitrifying bacteria. The soil acidity has an impact on many essential properties that determine soil quality. Most important in this respect is level. This is effect on availability of nutrient. So acidification of soil will affect the essential properties or availability of nutrient inside in the soil. Nutrients such as phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, and calcium decrease through acidity, whereas the ability of metallic micronutrient increase. This apply for metallic ions such as zinc, manganese, copper, and iron. So mobilization of aluminum, zinc, and manganese result into substitute plant roots. The problem may arise aluminum or manganese toxicity. This is for plant. Deficiency of phosphorus due to it tying up by iron and aluminum, and calcium and magnesium deficiency. So meaning you need to regulate the pH of the soil. And avoidance and elevation of soil acidity, how to increase the soil acidity, meaning how to regulate the soil. The remediation process known as liming is considered as the most effective remediation technique in this respect. It reduces the harmful effect of low pH, such as aluminum and manganese toxicity, while adding calcium and magnesium to the soil. So liming is carried out by adding finely ground limestone to the soil in a amount capable of raising soil pH. So most commonly used liming material is limestone, chalk, marl, slag. They may contain minor amount of pig lime, slag lime, and magnesium carbonate. Which is why if you put the liming agent in the vacuum and you will this. The ideal value of pH for soil depends. There's no one value that should all type of soil. Basically, it is depend on the climatic condition of the mineralogy from chemical management of the soil, well as the type of agricultural management crop. So in temperate region, pH value of about 6.5 is preferred for arable crops, 6 for grassland. Whereas pH value of 5.5 is considered to be ideal in tropical area, including Malaysia. So soil that is not fulfilling the required pH will be treated by liming agent. To reduce the pH. Salinization and solidification. This is also under chemical soil regulation. So in region where evapotranspiration so what is evapotranspiration? It is water evaporation into the atmosphere from the soil surface. Evaporation from the capillary fringe of the ground water table and evaporation from water bodies on the surface. All of it is called evapotranspiration. So the word transpiration is referred to the water movement from the soil to the atmosphere through the plant. Okay. So in region where evapotranspiration is higher than precipitation, soil water flow will be driven by capillary action in an upward direction, and eventually due to evaporation, saline precipitate will be formed in the interstitial pores of the soil, leading to sublimation between the soil grain. So this process, how the sub form between the soil grain, this process is known collectively as salinization. In cases where the parent material is the pre-existing rock of the soil is rich in sodium, salinization will also lead to the increase of sodium in the soil water, leading to solidification, and as this is done by soil content. So the increase in sodium in soil water, so that sodium is coming from the soil. Where does it come from? The salinization process. So the water from the soil which contains sodium, so it's slightly salt water is called solidification. So the saline soil generally formed in low-lying floodplain where the water table is high. Sodic soil or chars occur commonly on slope immediately above valley floor floor plain. Both have what represent same origin. So practical. So what is the indicator for energy introducing? This is page 150. So two methods to identify the energy insolidity. In addition to analytical method of diagnosis, some reconnaissance method may be very useful. In identifying saline and sodic soil, these are generally classified into two main groups: method of analysis to the topographic feature and method to depending on plant as indicated. So besides, the main method is of course analytical method. Can sample to the left in the analysis. But they are two physical identification through topographic features. So prevailing topographic features provide very good indicators. For salinity and sodicity, saline soil often seen as bare ground covered by whitish grass, having a heavy appearance. Sodic soil may be identified through the occurrence of dense clay pan at or near the surface. This pan occurs as a result of dispersion of NA3. Identification through plant indicator. The tolerance of plant to salinity or sodicity varies widely according to species. This fact provide a criterion to compare the degree of salinity or sodicity of soil according to the type of plant communities grown. Halophyte, soft-moving plant communities, for example, are very reliable indicator of soil. They flourish in soil having more than 0.5% by weight soluble fat. What is the major type of soil pollutant? So this is still Ibrahim Israelku, chapter 6, page 117. So natural concentration of heavy metal in soil depend primarily on the type and chemistry of the parent material. So the parent material is the pre-existing rock in which the soil are derived. However, anthropogenic refer to human activities. Input may lead to concentration highly exceeding those from natural source. So average concentration of some heavy metal in the earth crust in some sediment and generally in soil are shown in table 6.1. So table 6.1 is really long table. I just copy until chromium. So actually for table 1 elemental composition of earth crust, they are 12 element. Consists in earth crust and sediment. So only iron and titanium are in percent, all other element are in my microgram per gram. So there are iron, titanium, vanadium, chromium, okay? Nickel, zinc, copper, cobalt, lead, tin, cadmium, and mercury. So from the table, we can conclude that lead, cadmium, tin, mercury are the most abundant metallic pollutant introduced into soil by anthropogenic activities. Yeah. Human activities is lead, cadmium, tin, and mercury. Later we will have what is it? Disasters caused by maybe case study. Yeah, case study. The main concentration of cadmium in soil is 6 times its main concentration in crust. Concentration of lead, mercury, and tin in soil 10 double their mean. The mean value in the crust. So lead is one of the oldest metallic pollutants introduced by man into the environment. It was called plumbum nigrum by Romans to differentiate it from plumbum candidum, some history, or tin. So what are the next part made of lead and carrying the insignia of some Roman emperor are still in use despite the fact that they introduced lead as a dangerous pollutant into the soil when they become polluted. The use of lead to make water pipe is no longer allowed due to their dangerous effect on the environment and the harm they cause for human, which is why there's no lead pipe now. So how about cadmium? So lead, cadmium, tin, clay is the abundant in earth crust, but coming from the human activity. Okay. So actually, in this book, it discusses about each of the element. And from page 117 to 121, zinc, iron, tin, mercury. So you have two types of mercury here. Mercury, also known as hydra Jerome, liquid silver, observed relation to the metal symbol Hg, and argentum vivum, quicksilver, is characterized among heavy metal by its low melting point, the existence of a whole series of organic compounds, and the function of amalgam. So we skip the information about each of the elements too long. You read in the books. copper is the oldest metallurgical product since Egypt. Yeah, very long time ago, 3000 before Christ. The yeah, the coppersmith profession was at the time. This is some history about history Egypt. We may conclude from the poem discovered in the ancient tomb. The commonly recognized trait in that poem and all anonymous Egyptian poets describe the coppersmith in the following way. I saw the smith at his work standing before the vent of his oven. His fingers were like steel. Stem was the heavy metal and the soil under it was. The interaction of a metal with the soil will be within the framework of any of the following processes. Absorption, diffusion into soil material, and complex formation. So absorption in the soil system depends principally on the psychochemical parameters, especially pH and the metal absorbance. So we find that clay material will in general absorb less amount of metal than oxide and organic material. Dissolved organic matter can increase metal solubility and activate reactive material surface, thus enhancing absorption. Another one is diffusion into soil material, metal ion capable of diffusing into the soil. So metal ion means very small. In red, that will depend upon the ionic diameter as well as the prevailing pH of the medium. Increases in pH, however, may lead to the formation of hydroso complex that would cause an increase of ionic diameter, thus decreasing the rate of diffusion and hence immobilizing the heavy metal aspiring to diffuse. So to increase the diameter of metal ion, ionic diameter, we just make it alkaline. It's on this book. Last one is complex formation. So as I mentioned, metal ion can be coordinated to soil organic substance, in particular humic and fulvic acid, which is why both this acid Found in with water. But how does heavy metal transport within the soil system? Diffusion and dispersion of metal may be in the form of an active transport process depending on many factors, the most important of which is related to the movement and characteristic of the soil solution and infiltrating water. In summary, these factors are rain intensity, evaporation, soil water retention, soil hydraulic properties like stability, and diffusion properties. This is how the heavy metal being transported within the soil system. So in this book, also it focus on how does the plant collect the heavy metal, then does what is the effect of a metal entering the plant. The effect of heavy metal. The bio, right? The effect of maybe. We go straight to major heavy metal accident involving collision by heavy metal. The first case study is case study. Okay, only one case study. Two case study. But one case study for Minamata, for Hamilton, another one is for radiation. But in this book, they want to three focus study. The first one is famous Minamata disaster, 1956. So if you see the book, it starts with the quote. Fishermen from Minamata inflicted with the Minamata syndrome. So Minamata syndrome is actually a mercury poisoning. We call it Minamata syndrome because of the location. When I thought I was dying, my hand were numb, it wouldn't work, and my father was dying too. When the villagers said again asked us to the sea, I would go to cry. This is 1950. So at the beginning of 1950, a time when the production of acetaldehyde was booming, to satisfy the need of the world market for plastic, mysterious disease causing diesel behavior in women, especially cats, started to harm the population of the small town of Minamata in southern Japan. You see this map of Japan. Minamata is here. So the loss of motor coordination caused the cat to move in an abnormal way that resulted in their falling into the sea and dying. The villagers started calling it the cat suicide syndrome or even the disease of dancing cat. This is early years of before they found out about the mercury poisoning. In the meantime, wholesale drying of fish started in Mata Bay, followed by what seemed to be a transfer of the disease to human. The psychological effect, including successive loss of motor control, were devastating and resulted sometimes in partly paralyzed of the bodies. But the sales development was played down by the local authorities and the Shiso Corporation, the owner of the acetaldehyde producing near the town. Nobody seemed to connect with this mysterious disease with the spill of industrial waste into the sea. So until 1956, after the disease started taking epidemic scale among humans, that it was identified as heavy metal poisoning caused by draining liquid industrial waste which contain mercury into the bay. So based on their research, show that HGSO4 reaching the bay industrial drain effluent was first precipitated as insoluble HGS, which was later on methylated through the biological action of bacteria in the sediment to form CH3Hg+. This form of mercury, methyl, being lipophilic and readily bioavailable to sea creatures was bioaccumulated by fish and other sea organisms. So lipophilics mean it's soluble in fat. Since the minimata resident rely almost exclusively on fish and aquatic organisms as source of protein, so organic mercury was transferred to the body, triggering off which caused the minimata disaster. So mercury is indeed a neurotoxin having teratogenic effect, causing both defect arising from damage to embryonic or fetal cell. And this perhaps why it comes to all the bizarre system and head disorder that appear at the time in the family of development. So heavy metal, there are two types, essential and non-essential. So essential heavy metal can be divided into three: essential for animal, essential for plant, essential for plant and animal. For the non-essential, is actually some of the list is arsenic, cadmium, mercury, lead, titanium, uranium. But the essential one is boron, molybdenum, manganese, copper, ferrum, zinc, chromium, iodine, cobalt. Not all the heavy metal is unrequired. Some of it is we need essential material. In this book, page 125, the Rhine pollution at Basel 1986. How many years? 6 to 5 years back. This has happened in Europe. Basel, Italy. Incident in Basel involved a spillage of mercury into the river Rhine. In the course of fighting a fire that broke into a warehouse at a location along the river, the warehouse used for the storage of pesticide, mercury, and other highly poisonous agricultural chemical was a part of a chemical factory belonging to the Sandoz Group near Basel, Switzerland. So as a result of the fire, one of chemical went to the nearby river, turning it into red. Well, people in the city of Basel, surrounding region of the border between Germany and France, were told to stay indoors. Witness reported a foul smell of rotten egg and burning rubber. It is now known that the chemical was washed into the river with the water used to fight the fire. About 30 tons of acid were discharged into the river Rhine, Europe. Most important waterway that flow through Switzerland, Germany, France, and Holland before flowing into the North Sea. So, what is the harm caused by this mercury spillage? So, most of them is referred to the bottom living organism completely eradicated over a distance of 400 kilometers. In addition, despite the fact that after 1 year, most particulate returned to the river, the groundwater of the Rhine alluvium posed a problem for years afterward. So both incidents, the Minamata and Basel, reveal the extremely poisonous nature of mercury, making it essential in the future to monitor its bioaccumulation along the North Sea in Holland to be on alert to prevent any further damage. Yeah, that's why in some of the, I think if not mistaken, COD analysis is using mercury chemical oxygen demand. So we cannot dispose it, just throw it the sea and to dispose it safely. Clip. Since, since 1954, there has been an increasing pollution of soil with radioactive nuclides. These are naturally or technically produced elements with unstable nuclei that spontaneously alter their composition through reductive decay in a series of successive nuclear reactions, ultimately leading to a stable configuration. So decay of unstable nuclei takes place according to what of the following mechanism. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mechanisms. First one is gamma decay, which is from emission of gamma ray. Alpha decay from alpha particle. Beta decay is emission of electron by nuclear neutron. Electron capture of electron by nuclear proton. Positron emission of positron by nuclear proton. So the rate at which the nuclei of a sample decay is known as activity of the considered productive nuclides. So, okay, some calculation in the unit. One of the unit is Curie. In honor of Madame Curie. So Madame Curie is okay. Marie Curie or Madame Curie is remembered for her discovery of radium and polonium and her huge contribution to finding treatment for cancer. So the first woman to win 2 Nobel Prize. The first in physics in 1903 and second in chemistry. So 1 Curie equal to 37 gigabecquerel equal to 3.7 times 10 to the power of 10 event per second. So 1 Curie or 1 Ci is nearly the derivative of 1 gram of radium. 2% on this. Speciation behavior of radionuclide in solar system. So like in the general case of other heavy metals, speciation play an important role in the behavior distribution effect of radionuclides in the soil environment. An example may be given by plutonium. It exists in the soil environment in 4 oxidation states: plutonium 3, 4, 5, and 6, whereby the 3 and 4 really take the form of simple hydrated cation, while the 5 and 6 form linear diuxo species, such as this. So Pu is the plutonium. So the major part of plutonium in the environmental system is associated with soil, especially the layer forming the uppermost 10 cm of the topsoil. Generally, the distribution of the radionuclide in soil depends on several factors, including mineralogy, type of soil, as well as the microbiological process that can cause within the soil compound. The uptake of radionuclide depend, among other things, on the individual psychological characteristic of the plant, the capacity of pollution, bioavailability of the nuclide, as well as the soil type and the pathway followed in transport from soil to the vegetation, such as pathway or heat transport to the root system. Similarly, we find that according to Whitehurst, the transport of venom to plant via surface erosion is 10 times more than the taking place through the root membrane. Surface erosion means plant leaf, the branches of fruit. If you refer to this book, there are after that the discussion is about nuclear debris from weapon tests and belligerent activities is one key threat to nuclear debris from major nuclear accident. So between the years 1957 and 1993, major nuclear accident have occurred. Major mean up to level 7. See here. Okay, that's expensive. So all of this occurs from 1957 until 1993. Being the biggest level 7 is Chernobyl 1986. Level 6 is Ural Mountain West Explosion 1958. But the Ural Mountain West Explosion is the effect is not due to the explosion, but due to the those who working in the mine, they bring back the contamination beside the waste explosion. The distribution of nuclear debris has increased on a worldwide scale since the mononuclear device first contaminated the Earth's atmosphere following the nuclear bombardment of Hiroshima and Nagasaki by the United States, the first at the end of the Second World War. This is 1967. So between 1957 and 1953, okay, this is a major accident occurs. Was in Asia, all good. So what happened in 1986? The core of one this is a case study original this and it was this explosion. reactor explosion. The core of one of the reactor blocks in Chernobyl caught fire, causing a great increase in temperature and emission of radioactive liquid, reaching an altitude of up to 1,500 meters in the atmosphere. As a result, radioactive debris was dispersed, aided by the high wind speed, over an immense area in Central and Southern Europe, thousands of meters away from the Chernobyl. Table 6.5 shows the spread of cesium and iodine from Chernobyl. So, for example, United Kingdom, which is 2,250 kilometers distant from Chernobyl, the increase in cesium and iodine activities. So during the first 2 days, prevailing easterly wind carried the nuclear debris mainly to Hungary and Austria. However, as the wind changed in direction to the south on May 2nd, part of the Germany were also affected. Figure 6.8, the dispersion, the shaded area. Measurement of atmospheric radioactivity in Berlin during the time between April 27 and May 12 showed that the accident had brought the burden of radioactive nuclide in the atmosphere to a maximum value comparable to those measured in the year 1962 and 1963. Figure 6.9. So the spike. So washed out by rainfall brought an additional lot of radionuclide to the soil, which is causing the soil pollution. Following the accident, measurement after the first rainfall in some stations in Berlin shows additional burden of cesium depending on precipitation intensity varied from 860 to 5,600. Becquerel. Becquerel is becquerel per meter square. It's the unit intensity. So the most recent report on the nuclear energy agency in 2002 identify the radionuclide emitted and deposited as short intervals 6.66 H135. According to the same report, NEA 2002, the principal psychochemical form of the deposited radionuclide dispersed fuel particle, condensation, generated particle, mixed particle. So example here, Then 33 liquid. The half-life is 5.3 days. But if plutonium 239, the half-life is 24,000 years. So meaning the activities is 0.85, and during the release oxygen is 3.5. So 3.5, sorry, 0.85 becquerel, pentabecquerel, will be half in 24,200 years for plutonium 239. Okay, major type of solvent, source of solvent. Source operation is chapter 7. Rahim is try which 127. Written from agrochemical source, including fertilizer, manure, and pesticide, including the accidental spill of hydrocarbon used as fuel for agricultural machine. Figure 7.2 shows that except for a short decrease in the worldwide sale at the beginning of 1990s, here, the market has been growing since 1992. So pesticide sale reach, okay, all statistic. But the gist is pesticide, fertilizer, all of it is shown increase in market value. According to British Food and Environmental Act 1985, a pesticide is defined as any substance or preparation prepared or used for any of the following purposes. First is destroying organism harmful to plant, to wood, other plant product. The second one is destroying undesired plant, and the third is destroying harmful creatures. If any substance fall under this purpose, it is considered as a pesticide according to British Food and Environmental Act 1985. So the pollution may arise from a wide range of sources. This might be discrete point source or diffuse source, and the pollution process so may be the deliberate utilization process of growing. So this figure one summarizes the main source of sorry, types of pollution. First one is agrochemical source from the fertilizer, mining, pesticide. the fused village. Next is urban source, which is electric power station, ash fallout, gas work, transport, waste disposal, sewage sludge. And industrial source is mining, smelting, metallurgical industry. Atmospheric source, windblown methane acid deposit, and incidental source, welfare, explosive poisonous gas, industrial accident. Accidents such as Chernobyl. Okay. Pesticide generally classified into the following group according to their mode of action and the specific um, specific organism that they are used to combat. So, for example, insecticide. These are chemical compounds used to kill insects, whether specifically or for a particular type or generally for a variety of insects. Herbicide, chemical used to combat or suppress the growth of a certain type of plant. Fungicide, chemical used to kill or suppress the growth of all kinds of a certain type of fungus. There are, if you refer to this book, it explain all type of the pesticide, but in much like I'm really going to focus on insecticides. And within the insecticide, there are three types. Four types. Organophosphorus compound, organochlorine, carbamate, natural synthetic pyrethroid, natural insecticide. So for organophosphorus compound, these are technically nerve poison. So the basic basic energy of which was developed during the Second World War in Germany and Britain. They are used in many different ways in agriculture and mineral hygiene. Some of them are used as fumigant, others as contact poison, and others are used as systemic pesticide. So two most prominent examples of this group are tetraethylpyrophosphate, TEPP, and the warfare agent sarin, the poison, and both of which are highly toxic for animals. So for choline, the toxic action of organophosphates arrive from their disruption of the nervous system by inhibiting the enzyme cholinesterase. One. Responsible for the establishment of nervous transmission. To this category, we add a group of organophosphate with an ester function. Phosphothionate, known as a pro-insecticide. These are only toxic to animals producing high level of special enzyme known as mixed function oxidase (MF) There are many others. They refer to this book, page 139 and 3. Because it's describing all the herbicide, fungicide, until page 147. Watermelon group 147. Yeah. Within these pages, we explain the pesticide. Soil pollutant of urban sources. So, soil pollution by material of urban sources is a problem as old as urbanization itself. Archaeological study shows that through the construction and demolition of domestic concentration and public area center of human activities, a great deal of pollution substance were always dumped or disposed of on soil, resulting in their physical and chemical degradation. But the main source of urban soil pollution, however, are power generation emission, release from transport means, and waste disposal. So we focus on these three. Although there are some other factors contribute to the pollution of urban sources. For power emission from power generation plant include COX, NOx, SOx, and UOx. So UOx is uranium oxide and polycyclic PAH or polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon. So this may introduce into the soil either directly as fallout, dry disposition, or in wet form after being dissolved in precipitation. So some example of PAH, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon, is naphthalene, anthracene, pyrene. So electric power generation in coal-fired power plant contributes not only to the addition of inorganic and organic pollutant to the soil through airborne fly ash, but also add to the radioactive nucleic content of the soil. In the US, many studies have been done on the position of uranium in fly ash, showing that uranium in fly ash may reach concentration within 1 to 10 ppm. See here, compared to the original coal. Despite the fact that this concentration may not represent severe danger to individual and human life in general, chemical conditions under which uranium may be leached from fly ash and be concentrated in soil are still not completely understood. So through soil pollution through transport activities, this is the second factors, second major factors. Transport activities in and around urban center constitute one of the main sources of soil pollution, not just because of the emission from the internal combustion engine, petrol spill, but rather from these activities. They are including changes as a whole. So to explain this, we should consider the breathtaking case in highway construction. So from highway construction, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impact. The first one is water quality changes due to sediment damage to surface and groundwater supplies. Second is pollution due to highway activities such as emission of soft oil, chemical, and hazardous substance through accidental spills. Pollution is a thing from maintenance activities requiring the use of chemicals such as weed, insect control compound, and salt to control the formation of ice in winter. During highway construction, road cut may expose pyrite-bearing strata that in turn will produce acid and other chemically polluted water. The last one is new economic activities attracted to the highway that may result in producing huge amount of roadside litter and debris. This is some of the impact to the soil pollution. The last one is soil pollution by waste and sewage sludge. So of all urban sources contributing to soil pollution, these contribute the most waste and sewage sludge. So waste produced by household is known collectively as municipal waste in order to differentiate it from waste originating from industrial process. It include various type of material that may contribute to changing the environment of soil. Table 7.4 shows the composition percent of municipal waste in both France and Turkey in the year 1993, established by OECD. OECD is for European countries. So municipal waste disposal by landfill and incineration may involve cases led to consideration of regulators such as cadmium, copper, lead, tin, and zinc. Yeah, see here, cadmium, copper, lead, tin, and zinc, which contribute to the element inside the earth crust. Either directly from landfill leachate that may be polluting soil and underground water by ash melting plants. To this, we may add the effect of landfill gases that may pass to the neighboring soil, causing a change in the soil environment. So from the waste or sewage, sludge, we need to dispose. So disposal of sludge produced by sewage treatment poses a great problem as well, since it in almost all developed countries, the disposal of this sludge by dumping it at sea is being phased out, and the principal method of disposal is now shifting to land use. In fact, the mere use of sludge to amend soil is an advantageous process in itself, it adds essential organic matter as well as useful nutritive elements like phosphorus and nitrogen to the soil. Yet, pollutants such as heavy metal, which are normally concentrated in sludge, may accumulate within the relation. So, meaning although the sludge is useful, but contain heavy metal. We focus on soil erosion now. We cannot finish it now. Later I will upload the video for class 3 to 6 p.m. In total, I have like 99 slides. Now we go in detail about the soil erosion. Okay, this is based on book by PC Morgan, Jennifer to Ellipse, Soil Erosion and Conservation. Start with introduction to soil erosion. Chapter 1, page 1. Soil erosion costs the US economy between 30 billion and 44 billion annually. The annual cost in the UK is estimated at 90 million pounds. In Indonesia, the cost is US 400 million per year in Java alone. This cost results from the effect of both on and off site. So on-site effect on agricultural land are the distribution of soil within the field, the loss of soil from a field, the breakdown of soil structure, and the decline in organic matter, and in turn result in a reduction of cultivatable soil depth and a decline in soil fertility. Erosion also reduces available soil moisture, resulting in more drought-prone conditions. The net effect is a loss of fertility, which restricts what can be grown, result in increased expenditure for fertilizer to maintain the yield. That one is on-site, but off-site problem arises from sedimentation downstream or downwind, which reduce the capacity of river and drainage ditches, enhance the risk of flooding, block irrigation canal, and shorten design life of reservoir. This is the off-site problem. So the on-site problem affect the farmers directly, but the off-site problem, it actually the burden is to the not to the farmer but to the authority. See here, to reduce the capacity of the river, meaning they need to increase it back the capacity of the river. Okay. Many electricity and irrigation projects have been ruined as a consequence of erosion. Sediment is also a pollutant in its own right, and through the chemical absorbed to it can increase the level of nitrogen and phosphorus in water bodies and result in eutrophication. So who borne the on-site and off-site erosion costs? So the on-site costs of erosion are necessarily borne by farmers, but for off-site costs, the farmers bears little of the offset costs which fall on local authority for road clearance, maintenance, insurance companies, and all the landholder in the local will be affected by sedimentation and flooding. What does soil erosion contribute? How does soil erosion contribute to CO2 emission? It's actually because erosion led to breakdown of soil aggregate and clot into the primary particle of clay, slate, and sand. So through this breakdown of soil aggregate, the carbon that is held within the clay and the soil organic content is released into the atmosphere as CO2. So that's how the soil erosion contributes to CO2 emission. Although soil erosion is a physical process which considerable variations globally in its severity and frequency, where and when erosion occurs is also strongly influenced by social, economic, political, and institutional factors. So conventional wisdom favors explaining erosion as a response to increasing pressure on land brought about by a growing world population and the abandonment of large area of family as a result of erosion, salinization or alkalinization. Processes and mechanics of erosion. So the two PC model, page 11. Soil erosion is a two-phase process consisting of individual soil particles from the soil mass and their transport by erosive agents such as running water and wind. When sufficient energy is no longer available to transport the particle, the third phase, deposition, occurs. The transporting agent comprises those that contribute to the removal of a relatively uniform thickness of soil and those that concentrate in general. So rain splash is the most important detaching agent. So it's detach the soil. As a result of raindrops striking a bare soil surface, although you know raindrop is small, but the splash is actually can send the soil few centimeters in the air. Okay. So particle may be thrown through the air over the distance of several centimeters. Continuous exposure to intense rainstorm considerably weaken the soil. The soil is also broken up by weathering process of mechanical by alternate rooting and drying, freezing and thawing, cross action and biochemical. The first group consists of rain splash, surface runoff in the form of shallow flows of infinite width, sometimes termed sheet flow, but correctly called overland flow and wind. Is the transporting agent for soil erosion. Second group is covered in small channel known as reel. This is real, small channel on the hill slope, which can be obliterated by weathering and flooding or in the larger, more prominent features of gullies and rivers. So the water will flow through the reels, which cause soil erosion. See here, the sediment. This is greener. This one is muddy. It's short erosion. Energy available for erosion takes two forms: potential and kinetic. Potentiality result from the difference in height of one body with respect to another. It is the product of mass in height difference and acceleration due to gravity. So that potential energy equal to mhg, which in unit of kilogram mass meter and square meter square second respectively, yield a value in joules. The potential energy for motion is converted into kinetic energy. Energy of motion, K equal to 1 over 2 mg square. So most of the raindrop is used in detachment. However, so that amount of available for transport is less than that from overland flow. This is illustrated by measurement of soil loss in a field in mid-Bedfordshire, England, over a 100 days period of on an 11-degree slope on a sandy soil. Transport across the centimeter width of the soil amounted to 19,000 grams of sediment by rain, 400 grams by overland flow, and only 20 grams rainfall. So release can have a major impact on the soil erosion. The overland flow is a flow that not inside the rain but on the surface of the soil. That's why we have infinite width. Hydrological basis of erosion. The process of water erosion are closely related to the pathway taken by water in its movement through the vegetation cover over the ground surface. And during the rainstorm, part of the water fall directly on the land, either because of the is no vegetation or because it passes through gaps in the plant canopy. This component of the rainfall is known as the direct throughfall, so meaning direct impact of raindrop to the surface of the soil is called the direct throughfall. Part of the rain is intercepted by the canopy where it either return to the atmosphere by evaporation or find a way to the ground by dripping from the leaf. The common term leaf drainage or by running down the plant stem as stem flow. The action of direct throughfall and leaf drainage produce rain splash erosion. The rain that reaches the ground may be stored in small depression or hollow on the surface, or it may infiltrate the soil, contributing to soil moisture storage through lateral movement downslope within the soil as subsurface or interflow or by percolating deeper to groundwater. So when the soil unable to take water, so meaning infiltration rate cannot occur anymore, the excess contribute to runoff on the surface, resulting in erosion by it's either by overland flow or by the winds or gullies. So figure 2.1 fecal infiltration rate for various soil, clay, loam, and sand. Clay, loam, and sand. So infiltration rate for clay is lower than loam and sand. And as it's reached the saturation here, when it's happened, there's no infiltration can occurs. How many hours based on meters and report 1974? The research shows that infiltration rate for clays can last about 1 hour and a half, 1 hour 40 minutes. So various attempts have been made to describe the changes in infiltration rate over time mathematically. One of the most widely used equation is the modification of the Green and M 1911 equation proposed by Mine and Larson. So I equal to A plus B over T. I is the instantaneous rate of infiltration. A is the transmission constant or saturated hydraulic conductivity of the soil. B is the substitutivity defined by plasma as the slope of the line when I, instantaneous rate of infiltration plotted against T. T is the time elapsed since the onset of the rain. So the slope of the graph is actually B, substitutivity. So this equation has been found to describe well the infiltration behavior of soil in southern Spain. Meaning this equation has been used and applied in southern Spain and erosion. So infiltration rate depend upon characteristic of the soil. Generally, coarse texture soil such as sand and sandy loam have higher infiltration rate than clay soil because of the larger space between the pores. Infiltration capacity may range from more than 200 millimeter hour for sand to less than 5 millimeter hour for tight clays. If rainfall intensity is less than the infiltration capacity of the soil, no surface runoff occurs and the infiltration rate equal the rainfall intensity. If the rainfall intensity exceeds the infiltration capacity, infiltration rate equals the infiltration capacity, and the excess rain from surface. That one you can refer to 2.1. So meaning sand has higher infiltration rate compared to clay, loam. So let's place erosion. There are many types of erosion. Surface erosion, we have overland flow, real erosion, subsurface flow, valley erosion. Touch all the some. So we focus on one space. So the transfer of momentum to the soil per article have two effects. First, it provides a consolidating force compacting the soil. The transfer of momentum in this case is rainfall. Second, it produces a disruptive force as the water rapidly disperses from an atom to the jaw to the point of impact in laterally erosion. The consolidation effect is best seen in the formation of the surface, thus usually only a few millimeter thick, which can result from the clogging of the pores by soil compaction and by the infilling of surface. So consist from fine particle detached from soil made by the raindrop. So to page 18, the actual response of soil to a given rainfall depends upon atmospheric content, and therefore the structural state and the intensity of the rain. There are three possible response. If the soil is dry and the rainfall intensity is high, the soil will get break down quickly by slaking. If the aggregate initially partially wet, rainfall intensity is low, microcracking occurs and will get breakdown into smaller aggregate. If the aggregate initially saturated, infiltration will still depend on the saturated hydraulic conductivity of the soil. The large quantity of rain are required to seal the surface. So studies of the kinetic energy required to detach 1 kilogram of sediment by raindrop impact show that minimal energy is needed for soil with geometric mean particle size of 0.1 to 5 millimeter. And soil with geometric mean particle between 0.063 and 0.25 soil with geometric mean particle size between 0.063 here and 0.25 are the most vulnerable to detachment. Meaning the energy required to detach the particle with size 0.060 to 0.25 is lesser compared to smaller particle or very big experimental study shows that the rate of detachment of soil with rain splash varies with the 1 hour of the instantaneous kinetic energy of the rain and with the spray of the instantaneous rainfall intensity. The detachment rate ER on base soil can be expressed by the equation of the form. This equation, see the kinetic energy. Where I is the rainfall intensity in millimeter hour. As the slope expressed in meter per meter, or as sign of the slope angle. Okay. Ke is the kinetic energy of the rate, which will go with the square, and the h is the depth of surface water in meter. This one is page 19. Since space erosion acts This is about rain. Uniformly over the land surface, its effects are seen only where stone or tree roots selectively protect the underlying soil. Splash pedestal or soil below are formed such as this figure. This force root due to the rain splash erosion. Overland flow. So overland flow occurs on hillside during a rainstorm when surface depletion storage in either the case of a prolonged rain, soil moisture storage, or with intense rain, the infiltration capacity of the soil are exceeded. The flow is rarely in the form of a sheet of water or uniform depth, and more commonly is a mass of anastomosing or braided water processed in a pronounced channel. It's flowing on top of the soil surface. The floor is broken up by stone, cobble, and by vegetation cover, often swirling around tuft of grass or cement. It's an overland flow. Under overland flow, it's many equations. First one is hydraulic characteristic. The characteristic of the flow are described by its Reynolds number and flow number, defined as follow: RE capital V R over B capital V over square root R. So Reynolds number is an index of the turbulence of the flow. Flow number is an index of whether or not gravity wave will form in the flow. So when the flow number is less than 1, gravity wave does not form. So cumulatively, the move is described as tranquil or subtly. So detachment of soil particle by flow. Detachment of individual soil particle from the soil mass occur when the force exerted by the flow exceeded the force between the particle at rest. The important factors in the above hydraulic relationship is the flow velocity. Because of an inherent resistance of the soil, velocity must attain a threshold value before erosion commences. So, she'll met fundamental analysis of the process involved in forces at work to determine the critical condition for initiating particle movement over a relatively gentle slope in river in terms of the dimensionless shear stress of the flow and the particle roughness Reynolds number defined respectively by this equation. So RE there is actually a Reynolds number. So Reynolds number in this case is U times D over V. So D is the meter of particle, U is the shear velocity of the flow, expressed by GRS, while V is the kinematic viscosity of the water. So kinematic viscosity of the water, it's affected by temperature. So if the value of Re was greater than 40, it's in turbulent flow, the critical value of Sheil number is symbol. So particle movement assume a constant value of 0.05, but this value does not hold when, as is the case with overland flow, the particles are not fully submerged because it's shallow flow, or the flow has zero number in the laminar range. This implies that the initiation of movement is not only a phenomenon of fluid shear stress, but is enhanced by other factors. Among those not accounted for by the Sheil number are the effect of raindrop impact on the flow. So as can be seen in figure 2.3, the particle larger than 0.2 mm in diameter, the critical shear velocity increases with particle size. 0.2 mm here, 200 micrometer. Yeah. So the larger force is required to move larger particles. For particles smaller than 0.2 mm, the critical shear velocity increases with decreasing particle size. See, it's increasing. This one is increasing, reduce, increase. The final particles are harder to erode because of the cohesiveness of the clay material of which they are comprises, unless they have been previously detached and as a result lost their cohesion, in which case they can then be moved at very low shear velocity. So once the critical condition for particle movement are exceeded, soil particle may be detached from the soil mass at a rate that is dependent on the shear velocity of the flow and the unit discharge. Page 22, the direct application of this relationship is only valid. However, if the shear velocity is exerted solely on the soil particle, which implies that the resistance to the flow is entirely due to grain resistance. This situation is only true for completely smooth bare soil surface. In practice, resistance due to microtopographic form of the soil surface and the plant cover is usually more important, and grain resistance may be as little as 5% of the total resistance offered to the plant. Since it is difficult to determine the level of grain resistance, only very generalized relationship can be developed for describing the detachment rate. This depends on a simple relationship between detachment and flow velocity. So the velocity of flow is dependent upon the depth of hydraulic gradient. On a depth or hydraulic gradient. The roughness of the surface and the slope. This relationship is commonly expressed by the Manning equation V equal to R to the power of 3s of 0.5 over n, where n is the Manning coefficient of roughness. 2.18 assume fully turbulent flow moving over rough surface. There are few equations inside the book. So each equation have different coverage or meaning, but all of it implies still above the hydraulic characteristic. So transport of soil particle by flow, this is still under overland flow, but inside this slide, there's no real erosion. The one you can refer to the roots with erosion, gully erosion. They will show you the equation involved. Wind erosion, how does it move the soil? The topic is soil. Transport of soil particle by flow. Once sediment has been entrained within the flow, will be transported until such time as deposition occurs. Transporting velocity of the flow, Tf varies with the fifth power of the velocity, so that this equation. So instead of trying to define transport velocity only in terms of flow properties, some literature have attempted to relate transport velocity to the maximum sediment. Consistent that a flow can carry when a balanced condition exists between catchment and deposit. So this is only flow. Then later researcher combine the deposition. So the rate of deposition dp, given the rather shallow depth of overland flow, the considerable role play by surface roughness and the low Reynolds number and fluid number can be proposed that most of the sediment transported is derived by random impact and that except on steep slope or on smooth bare soil surface when shear velocity rarely attain the levels utilization. 7 minutes. The picture of the so, strategies for soil for erosion control. So this is chapter 7 by RTC module, page 152. So the aim of soil conservation is to reduce erosion at a level at which the maximum sustainable level of agriculture production, grazing or recreational activity can be obtained from an area of land without unacceptable environmental damage. Since erosion is a natural process, cannot be prevented, but it can be reduced to a maximum acceptable level of soil loss tolerance. So the principle of soil conservation. So strategies for soil conservation must be based on covering the soil to protect it from raindrop impact, increasing the infiltration capacity of the soil to reduce runoff, improving the aggregate solidity of the soil, and increasing surface roughness to reduce the velocity of runoff and wind. The various conservation techniques can be described under the heading of three: agronomic measure, soil management, and mechanical method. So agronomic measure utilize the role of vegetation. This one is question 153. To protect the soil against erosion, soil management is concerned with ways of preparing the soil to promote plant growth and improve its structure so that it is more resistant to erosion. Mechanical or physical method, often involving engineering structure, depend on manipulating the surface topography. For example, installing terrace or windbreak to control the flow of water and air. This one is terrace type of agronomic measure. Ergonomic measure combined with good soil management can influence both the detachment and transport cases of erosion, whereas mechanical method are effective in controlling the transport phase but do little to prevent soil detachment. So there is a pro and con of economic measure and mechanical measure. Can see control over rain splash. D is detachment. E is transport of soil. So if you're covering soil surface with plants, vegetation, so it can strongly control the rain splash or runoff wind. If you see here for terrace, for rain splash, there's no control for the detachment of the soil. But for transport, yes, moderate control. Runoff is moderate control. Runoff for transport because we will make a terrace, so strong control. Yeah, drivers and constraint. So drivers and constraint is the strategies for erosion control. What is the drivers? They can reduce the erosion control and the constraint to achieve the drivers. Mm, Just all for now. Take your attendance first. Later, I will give you the, the video on. So thank you.
Doktor,
Ya,
petang tu kita ada kelas kah?
ini video aja.
Video?
Hmm.
Okay, okay. Thank you, doktor.
Hmm. So thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.